Hey guys, I'm back for another live. I know I already did my planning live tonight, but I just decided that I got motivated about something, got a little tip from somebody. So a lot of people always come to me and they always tell me that they get stuck in this vicious cycle or vicious circle of fasting and then binging and then fasting again. So a lot of the stuff that we do when we're doing the coaching is getting over that cycle of binging and fasting, which is one of the reasons why I always recommend this book called Brain Over Binge. And I don't know if it's right there. I'll show you guys if it's right there. It's a book by Kathryn Hansen, and obviously it's not a book that has anything to do with fasting, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. But one of the big parts of fasting and why I recommend fasting to people and why I do fasting myself is because it's supposed to actually help you break that vicious cycle of fasting, of overeating and binging, right? As someone who was obsessed with sugar for a very long time, sugar is one of the culprits that make you overeat, and sugar is one of those things that you binge on. So one of the most important things is to learn how to control your impulses and learn how to control your animal brain, which is what that book is about. Now, like I said, that book has nothing to do with fasting. That book is mainly just about like completely just taking your animal brain outside your human brain and realizing that you have control over yourself. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people do in fasting, especially if it's your first or second or third time, is that people will binge after their fast because they do not know how to control that animal brain. Now, I'll tell you guys one way that I control my animal brain, because as you guys know, first of all, I used to be like a massive binge eater, and one of the things that helped me get over binging, right, because I don't do it anymore, and even if I would track what I'm eating most of the time to have like a ballpark, so it's not like a binge like it used to be back in the day where I would go to the corner store and gather up all my favorite snacks, sit in front of the TV, get into a trance and eat all of them, and at that point you could eat like 5,000 calories easily, right? That's what I used to do back when I was 230 pounds. So one of my fears going into fasting and learning about the fasting focused lifestyle, when I first heard about OMAD, let's start with OMAD and then I'll discuss water fasting. But when I first got into OMAD is that I thought that maybe the OMAD would kind of encourage that binge eating behavior because it's sitting down and eating all your calories in one meal. So I used to be afraid of OMAD when I first started, thinking that maybe it's gonna kind of, like I said, encourage the binge eater inside me and evoke those kind of emotions and make me kind of get the binge eating worse. But right now, what happens is that the most important thing is that OMAD actually allowed me to feel satiated and feel happy with my meals, where I wouldn't get to the point where I want to overeat, because you sit down, have a big meal in the evening, and then you're done, you're full, that's all you get to eat, and then you fast until the next day for OMAD. So that's something with the OMAD that actually really significantly taught me how to control that binge eating and how to control the animal brain and not give in to my impulses throughout the day. That actually also taught me how to do the low carb lifestyle. And then I used to do just OMAD alone without low carb, but then I didn't feel the need to binge anymore because I didn't feel this like bottomless pit of hunger anymore. So that's talking about OMAD, right? So I'm gonna now move to water fasting. So a big part of this is that, hey Alyssa, hey Ann, I'll get to you guys in a second, but I just wanted to kind of talk about this topic. So the next part, right, is about water fasting. So people tend to get stuck in this vicious cycle, like I said, or this vicious circle of water fasting, binging, panicking, water fasting again, binging, panicking again, over and over and over. You gain the weight back, you gain the weight back, you lose the weight, you gain the weight, and you're never actually making any progress. But I'm here to tell you that if you actually take the right steps, you can get away from that vicious circle. Now, that means you need to be aware of what you're putting in your mouth. That doesn't mean that you can never eat naughty again. And as you guys know, fasting and feasting is a big part of life as well. But the feasting can only be done sometimes, and you need to keep it to a minimum. And I would recommend, for myself at least if you guys listen to what I say, this is what I do for myself, is that I keep it low carb most of the time. And then I try to keep it as keto as possible most of the time, although I've been having fruits and stuff, so more on the low carb side these days. But, you know, keep it low carb most of the time, so then sometimes you can go and have some meals that are a little bit naughtier. But I don't want you guys to do this directly after a fast, and I don't want you guys necessarily to do a fast in order to be able to go have like a mukbang or, you know, eat like a bunch of bingey foods. Like that's not the purpose of the fast. The purpose of the fast is mainly for mental clarity and to try to detox your body and cleanse your body, and then slowly move forward. And, you know, weight loss is a big part of it as well. So obviously you don't want to go and undo all your progress by going for a binge meal or something like that. That's not the purpose of fasting. And now, like I said, on special occasions like a wedding, a birthday, it's okay sometimes to be a little bit naughtier, but don't go out into like a full-on planned like crazy binge. So, you know, it's been something that we've all struggled with for a really long time. And I just finished my 30-day fast, as you guys know, 30-day water fast. And I decided to take it under my wing and decide to make something really intense for you guys to show you that it's possible to actually go into a water fast without going crazy afterwards and binging during your refeed. So I've been really focusing on the lessons that I learned from books like Brain Over Binge and teaching myself, okay, I'm having these food thoughts, I'm having impulsive thoughts. I was thinking about food like every day at 4 p.m. I got super hungry, and then my brain wanted to veer out towards the things that are really naughty that I shouldn't be eating. So I snapped myself back into place. I said, I'm doing this because I'm disciplined. I am a disciplined person. Disciplined people don't fast and binge, right? And I told myself this mantra over and over and over. I said, I'm doing this to show people on YouTube that I don't need to do it. I'm showing people on YouTube that we can stay disciplined after a fast. You just need to put the work in. So that means actually tracking things. And I know that it's not fun to track things, but right after your fast, it's absolutely crucial to write things down. Because if you do not write things down and you do not make a plan, you will allow that animal brain or the tiger to unleash itself and go eat the binge foods that you know you shouldn't eat. Especially because most of us have made that mistake at least once in our lives where we've fasted and then gained it all back, or gained half of it back, or gained a big significant chunk of it back because we were not aware that our animal brain would come out at that point and just rah, you know, like the tiger brain. So I want to show you guys, and I kind of showed you guys earlier too, but you know, it's very important to write everything down. And like I said, I don't want your whole life to be like about tracking stuff, and I want you to develop a healthy relationship with food, with fasting. And I know some people out there think that it makes your relationship with food worse, but it doesn't. What makes your relationship with food better is actually just being conscious of your relationship with food. So not taking this journey like purely for weight loss and checking the scale, but actually taking the opportunity during the fast to learn lessons. That's why I tell you guys to do the exercises, the homework, the visualization, the positive affirmations journal I send out. Do the waterfastingforum.com journal, so you're journaling your feelings, so you're aware when you have these trigger moments that either are triggered by some emotional things in your day, or they're triggered by outside things. Like, for example, in general, when you feel your animal brain coming out because you walked by a store and it made you hungry, that you're aware in that moment that you are having a trigger and you're saying no to that trigger. So really important to kind of really focus on getting away from that impulse. And that's why the book is in the description box. It's Kathryn Hansen, I think that's her name, Brain Over Binge. So super important, because I know that happens to a lot of people, and I need you guys to take this with as much weight as you can, like the actual what I'm saying, like take this message and make it an important message in your life. Write it down. Write it down. I went out of my way and made these worksheets for you guys, which I use every day as well. And I know it's tedious. Trust me, I know it's tedious. But in order to beat that animal brain, okay, you need to learn how to track things at least for 7 days after your fast to make sure that it's written on your plan so you don't go crazy and binge and then add things as you go, because you cannot give yourself that kind of permission to just add things to your refeed as you go. You need to have a plan, and I would give it a 24-hour rule where you make the plan 24 hours before you plan to eat and have a ballpark of written things down, writing things down, and then write down, imagine your calories and things like that. It's so important. It's possible to do it, okay? Dominica just said, I went to a birthday party and didn't eat a thing. I was scared as hell, but I did it. If I can do it, cliche, I know you can too. That's the thing. You guys can do it. And you can get to a healthy weight, and you can get over your binge eating addictions. I was eating like 1,500 to 1,900 calories this week, and I don't feel bloated. I don't feel crazy. Everything is good. Everything's under control. Everything was written down, and I ate good whole foods. right? I didn't even do keto. I was staying to like low carb, but I was even enjoying some watermelon and some stuff like that. So it's possible to continue to help your relationship with food and to build a stronger relationship with food, because some people are under the impression that fasting is going to turn you into this binge eating monster and make it worse. But your binge eating is already there. You need to learn about your binge eating through books like Brain Over Binge or other books like Rational Recovery, which I have not read yet, but the lady Kathryn, she actually talks about that book in Brain Over Binge. And you need to learn how to turn off that animal brain that is impulsive, because that animal brain is not only impulsive just for food, that animal brain is impulsive in general for other things in your life, right? You go to a store and you see something expensive and boom, you want to spend it right away and buy it, even though you know that you're going to have a huge credit card bill racked up or you're going to have some huge debt racked up. You have to tell yourself, no, I'm not spending money on that because I need to spend money on the bills that I have to pay and I don't want to acquire a bunch of debt. Same type of impulsive brain. So you need to exercise that self-discipline with that animal brain, and the animal brain is impulsive for everything. So important, okay? The discipline that you learn from fasting, it trickles into the other sides of your life, okay? Every other area of your life, that self-discipline will come in handy. Once you control food, and there's memes about this all over the place, I've seen them all over Instagram. Once you control what you eat, right? That's one of the hardest things to control, that impulsive brain. It's very easy to convince yourself to eat all the things because you're storing food or because you're hungry or because you're starving or whatever you think it is. It's easy to give into that animal brain when it comes to eating. But once you get your eating under control, I promise you that the other sides of your life will be under control. Which means that, you know, your self-discipline in terms of sticking to a business or sticking to your career and just toughing it out and going to work every day, even though you know it's hard. Your career, not your career, in terms of sticking to your workouts. If you want to do workouts, you know you have to stick to it. If you have a big project coming up that you need to do, your self-discipline to stick with that. Everything is a self-discipline that you learn, and it's that fasting muscle, but it's also that mental muscle that you are building to teach yourself about self-discipline. So every single time you tell yourself, no, I'm not eating. Yes, I'm going to the gym. I don't feel like it. I'm going anywhere. I'm going anyway. I don't feel like going for a walk. I'm going anyway. I don't feel like fasting, but I'm doing it anyway. That is the self-discipline. Okay, I know that you don't feel like doing these things all the time. Trust me, if we lived in this magical world where we never gained weight and we were absolutely lean, we'd be sitting on the couch watching Netflix for our whole life, never working out, never fasting, eating whatever we want, and living in this perfectly unhealthy, healthy world, because in that imaginary unicorn world, then we could eat whatever we want and never get unhealthy or anything like that. Okay, so important. It's so important to practice that mental discipline. And that's why this time I'm not measuring my weight for you guys, because I'm so sick of this being a whole journey about weight, because I want to teach you guys that self-discipline and learning those habits is so much more important than actually caring about the stupid number on the scale. Okay, that is a tool. Guess what else kind of tools we have? Shorts. Wear your shorts. If they're tight, obviously you need to keep fasting. If they're loose, you keep going. People are under the impression, or some people are sending out these bad messages into the universe, teaching young girls to do some fasting and then follow it by some overeating or some mukbangs and stuff like that. And I don't think that's acceptable. I don't think that's a message that we should be sending to the world. We need to teach people about discipline. That's all it is, guys. It doesn't even have to do anything with food. It's about discipline and having that mental discipline in your mind. That's all it is. It's about mental discipline. So it's time that you pull your head out of your bleep, 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 okay, and start taking responsibility for yourself. If you finish a fast and you binge, that is not the fast's fault that you're binging. That is your fault that you're binging. You are the one who's responsible for the binging. You are the one who hasn't done enough mental work to actually tell yourself that you can actually control that animal brain. And I know there are some deeper, darker issues and stuff like that, and Kathryn talks about it in her book, the Brain Over Binge book. But at the end of the day, a big part of binging, from the experience that I have in my past, is that binging is a habit. Okay, I know that if I sit down around 10 p.m. and I had a really long day and I watch Netflix, I know that I'm gonna sit down in front of the TV, and I know that that's a time that I would be more likely to binge, because that's the time that it usually binges, and that's the habit that I built over the years. And it took a long time to undo those habits. So I barely even watch Netflix anymore because those two go hand in hand. Every single time you sit down and you unwind and you had a long day, you say, oh my God, I had such a long day. I'll just eat a little bit and I'll do my diet tomorrow. And then you know that diet tomorrow never comes. Fasting is not a diet. You can't just fast once and get rid of it and then finish and eat whatever you want and go back to normal eating. It doesn't work like that, okay? What you need to do is that you need to sit there and realize that you make a plan. After you make a plan, you do your fasting. Once you do your fasting, you make a refeed plan. I have a 3-month plan, and I just posted it a few minutes ago when I did the other live this afternoon, right? Because fasting is a lifestyle. You cannot just fast once and then go back to normal eating your junk food for the rest of your life. No, you use this opportunity to fast, learn the self-discipline, learn that you are capable of not binging, and prove it to yourself that you can. Prove it to yourself that you can, okay? I was showing you guys, I wrote down my last 7 meals, and I wrote them and I sent them to you guys, and I put them in the refeed in the forum, okay? This is my day 1, okay? This is my day 1. I go hungry at 4 o'clock. I almost broke my fast on day 29. I go hungry, I'm human, but I didn't do it. I said no, I committed to 30, I'm doing 30, I'm not stopping, okay? Day 2. Again, I remember I got hungry at 4 p.m. and I was like, maybe I'll just eat. But I said, no, I'm doing OMAD, so I need to stick to OMAD, okay? Number 3, same thing. Every day at 4 p.m. I go hungry, okay? Day 5, day 6, day 7. This is my plan. See, I made this plan for tomorrow. If tomorrow's an eat day for me, I might continue fasting. If not, this is what I will eat tomorrow, and it's about 1,600 calories. So I made a plan for tomorrow in case I decide to eat. So day 6, day 7, I've been writing it down every day. Today is day 10. Today was supposed to be an eat day, and I decided to make it a fast day. So I wrote it down in my calendar. So later when you guys ask me, did you eat? I'll be like, no, actually that day was a fasting day. And then this is gonna be July 11th. That's what I plan to eat tomorrow. So it's planned out, it's healthy, and I know that if I veer off of this, that it's potentially a danger zone for my animal brain to come out and play. Okay, that tiger, you don't want to unleash it from the cage. Especially that most of us who need to lose weight are people that deal with binge eating habits, or people that deal with overeating, or people that have issues around food in general. So you need to know that, and you need to be aware of that, and you need to make sure that you're not giving in to those kind of like binging habits and binging tendencies after a fast. Okay, I know I'm ranting a lot, but you need to take responsibility for yourself, and it's not a problem that you can't get over. It's a problem that you need to work on and fix your mind and take responsibility and not live in self-denial thinking that fasting is causing your binge eating. Okay, you guys know this. People think, oh, well, when you water fast, you gain all the weight back. What about with Weight Watchers? How many of you guys did Weight Watchers and gained all the weight back when you went back to normal eating, right? How many of you guys did Jenny Craig or Nutrisystem or the Biggest Loser type of diet? How many of you guys did that and then gained all the weight back? How come everybody talks about yo-yoing, but then they think it's just about water fasting when we're in the water fasting kind of talks, right? The weight doesn't come back just with water fasting. The weight comes back with anything you guys try if you do not take action, take responsibility for what you're doing, and convince yourself that you need to change your habits. If that means not watching Netflix for 6 months because that's when you're prone to binging, then you better take it in your hands not to watch Netflix for 6 months. Or if you want to watch Netflix, how about you take a walk and watch it on your phone? Or how about you go down to a treadmill at the gym or in your basement or wherever you have a treadmill or a stationary bike or anywhere you want, somewhere that you can actually do some exercise while watching it. Or how about you watch some Netflix while folding your laundry and doing that? Instead of sitting down on a couch, you can actually do other things if you want to catch up with your series. You don't need to put yourself in a position where you are likely to binge if you are someone who is likely to binge. Okay? Very important message. because I'm so tired of people, including myself. Like, I've done this in the past. That's why I'm giving you guys some tough love about it, because I've done the thing where I fasted and then I ate crappy, and then I got like kind of stressed, right? So you need to realize that it's not something that is so hard to deal with. Yes, it takes some work, and hell of a yes, it takes some discipline, because you have to be completely self-aware about the potential that you're gonna unleash that tiger while you're breaking your fast. You need to be aware that there is that danger. The same as when you're doing a fast, right? In those first 3 days, you need to be aware that you will have some mind tricks that will, number one, convince you and talk you out of doing the fast to try to tell you that OMAD is more sustainable, or that alternate day fasting is the better option for you, even though you committed to a water fast. Same type of mental craziness. It's your brain. It's that little devil who's telling you what to do, that binging devil, okay? You tell it that you are in control. So important, okay? So important. I can't even speak because this topic is so important, guys. Okay, so the two things. At the beginning of your fast, you will absolutely have that voice in your head that tells you, even though you committed to like a 7-day fast, that voice in your head's gonna say, you know what, I think water fasting's maybe not that sustainable. Let me just try OMAD. Let me just do ADF. And then you'll be like, okay, well, I'll just eat today, so I'll fast tomorrow. And then guess what? Tomorrow, you're not gonna fast, because tomorrow you're gonna decide to do OMAD. And then the day after that, you're gonna decide to do OMAD again. And then you're never gonna even end up doing alternate day fasting. And you're probably never gonna end up fasting at all. So stick to your original plan. Give it some time. If you said 7 days of water fast, then do 7 days of water fast. If it does not work after 7 days, which it will, then you can change to OMAD, or then you could change to alternate day fasting. But make a plan, stick to it for the length of time that you said you would stick to it, and then if you want, afterwards make another plan. So let's say week 1 you're doing a 7-day fast, week 2 you're doing OMAD, and week 3 you're doing alternate day fasting. You need to make a plan and stick to it, or else you're never gonna end up finishing this journey. You're never gonna get to where you wanna get to, because right when you start to be successful, and right when the hard part of ADF comes, which is the actual F part, which is the fasting part, then you're always gonna psych yourself out, and you're gonna go from OMAD to ADF to OMAD to ADF, and guess what? You're never actually putting in the work with your fasting days, okay? So that is the time that you need to put aside, that you commit to whatever plan that you committed to and stick to it and see it through till the end. That is self-discipline. And that is the same thing you need to do during your refeed. If you said you're doing a 7-day fast and you have to do your refeed, you stick to what you say you stick to for the amount of time during your refeed. And after that, you make a contingency plan to decide, what am I doing after my refeed? Am I doing alternate day fasting? Am I doing OMAD? Am I doing another fast? Am I jumping into another fast? And I literally just showed you guys this, but I also have a plan. This is my plan for July. That is my refeed. Then I have my fasting days and my OMAD days, which are planned, because you cannot just go here and be like, oh, well, I'll just figure it out like tomorrow, you know? Like, what if I didn't have a plan for tomorrow? Then I could just, obviously, when it gets to 6 p.m. and I have to decide if I'm doing OMAD, obviously I'm gonna do OMAD, I'm not gonna fast. Who decides to fast on a whim? Like, oh, I'm just gonna fast right now and just go for it. No, you decide the day before and you make a plan and you decide to stick with it. That's self-discipline. I'm gonna say self-discipline 4,000 times in this video. You guys can play the water fasting drinking game, where every time I say self-discipline, you take a shot of water because we're drinking water, okay? Important. Oh, I just got a cramp in my hand. Okay, so very important, make a plan. If you do not have a plan, you will have problems, okay? That's why I make the calendars for you guys. Go print the calendar. Go on waterfastingforum.com, print the calendar, write it down on your plan, what you're doing for the next week. If you know what you're doing for the next week, then you actually have to continue later and decide what you're doing for next week. And I know some people work best without plan, but you know what they say. They say, either you plan to fail or you fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? If you don't plan your life, how do you know what you're gonna do in your life? If you don't plan your day. I know some people don't like planning, but then why are the people who plan the ones who are the most successful? Because they have a plan. You don't just decide on a whim that you're gonna fast or you're gonna refeed. So if you're not a planner, just decide now for tomorrow what you wanna do. Okay, decide now for tomorrow what you're gonna do. 24-hour rule. If you wanna fast tomorrow, then fast tomorrow, decide right now. If you wanna do OMAD after that, then decide right now. Okay, I haven't been reading any of the messages, but I'm gonna go back and respond to them later so you guys can comment. I know you guys are having quite a conversation here, and I was just kind of on a rant, so I didn't respond to any of them. But I just wanna tell you guys that it's possible to break this vicious cycle of binging and fasting and binging and fasting, and I want you guys to know that you can stop doing it and just stop, okay? As you guys know, I used to have a lot of breathing issues. I had asthma as a kid, and I used my puffer for a long time, especially when I was really overweight. I was using my puffer all the time. I had mild sleep apnea, and all these things start to go away when you lose the weight. And you know, for anybody dealing with sleep apnea, if you have the two options between losing weight or using that CPAP machine, that's probably a good idea to maybe try to lose the weight once and for all. Like I said in the video this evening, before this one, the planning one, you have to make a plan, and you have 6 months to make a plan as your mid-year resolutions. Okay, it's the 6-month mark in the year. You have 6 months to make a big dent in your weight loss goals. Even if you lose 10 pounds a month for like 4 months, okay, that's 40 pounds. Within the next 6 months, that's 40 pounds within the next 6 months. And that's if you only lose weight for 4 of the month, and then 2 of the month you just kind of blah, blah, blah. You just kind of mosey around, you don't do anything, okay? And water fasting, no, it doesn't slow down your metabolism. That's a huge myth that people have. The Biggest Loser type of diet, okay, if you look up the difference between starvation and fasting, starvation is when you're eating a really low, ridiculous amount of calories every day, which most people think is the way to go. That will bring your metabolism down. That will make your body get lazy. Your body's not doing the work anymore because your body knows, well, this person's working out 3 hours a day and eating really little, so I don't have to burn that many calories. But when you're fasting, your BMR shoots up, so your metabolism shoots up, according to Dr. Fung and Dr. Bragg and stuff, because your body actually wants to eat. Your body wants you to eat, so that means that your body is like, you need more energy to go hunt for food. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors used to always do fasting, and then every single person, they do a bunch of stuff. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Kipes. How much have you lost since you got into this stuff? I used to be 230 pounds, so I lost like 70 pounds plus minus something around there. And a lot of it was done with OMAD, a lot of it was done with intermittent fasting, a lot of them was done with water fasting. So if you go back and scroll to like my sugar video, I put a photo of my before and after when I was like 230 pounds. So I used to yo-yo all the time. I used to go back up to 200, down, back up to 230, down, back up to 230 again, down. And this is the first time for like the past 2 years where I have not yo-yoed and I have not gone over 200 pounds. And the only thing I do is really change about my pattern of eating, which means that I just follow the OMAD lifestyle. That's just my normal lifestyle on most days, right? OMAD, low carb with some high carb days. So it's all about self-discipline, and I know that you guys are struggling, and I know that a lot of the time I struggled for most of my life, and that's why I make these videos, to throw that lifeline out for you guys, to pull you out and tell you that it's possible to get over this, to get over the binge eating, to feel like you're not having this bottomless pit of hunger. So first of all, cut the sugar out. Second of all, you need to just fix your eating patterns, and if you stick to OMAD, it will help a lot, or even like a 20-hour fasting window and a 4-hour eating window, which is 24. You have the opportunities to do this. Okay, so that's my little rant of the day, but stop blaming the fast for your binging. Stop blaming all these diets and stuff that you do for all your behaviors. Just take responsibility for the way that you eat. And if you know that you're someone who tends to binge, find your trigger points and stay away from those trigger points, like Netflix for me used to be, or things like that. So figure out what they are, do some self-reflection, do some journaling, do some manifesting, figure out what you want to do, visualize yourself at a goal body, stop thinking that you're hopeless, that you're never going to lose weight. These are all the exercises you need to do mentally to reprogram your mind for success, okay? So that's all I have to say about my little rant. You can pull yourself out of the vicious cycle or the vicious circle of binging and fasting. You just need to take responsibility and get it done, okay? You just need to get it done. There's no other way. Like I always say, there's no little magical fairy who's gonna come to your bed one day and wake you up and say, listen, you need to do this now. You are that person. It is within you. It is your job to find that fire within you. Write down 30 reasons why you want to fast right now and get it done. Or 30 reasons why you are absolutely committed to losing weight. Is it your health problems? Do you feel comfortable when you go to parties? Because I used to hate getting dressed. I would have the best day planned, whether it's like a graduation thing or whether it's like a nice event or like a birthday or a barbecue I have to go to. And I'd be so excited for it until I try on my clothes, and then I would have a hissy fit and be like, I don't even want to go anymore. And then you go to bed, you cry yourself to sleep, and it's the funnest day in the world because you just messed up your whole life again. Another day of having a hissy fit because you were like just not fitting in your clothes. Kimberly's asking me why I'm up. You know I'm a night owl, so I'm always up. I just got motivated to make you guys this pep talk because I'm so tired of people going into that binging cycle and thinking that they're hopeless. You're not hopeless. You just need to put work into it. People do not lose weight magically. The people who put work in are the people who lose the weight. The people who do the mental steps to take their, what am I saying? The people, exactly. Leslie just said she wrote down all her whys, all 13 of them, and why it's great to go back. Yeah, I would say even write like 30, very specifically. Very specifically. Oh, I don't fit in the roller coaster. Oh, my leg touches someone on the plane seat when I sit next to them, makes me uncomfortable. Oh, in the cinema, I feel awkward walking through the alleys with people because my butt's rubbing up against them. Write down all the little reasons, all the stupid little reasons that you want to get there, okay? 30 reasons. 30 reasons is hard. You have to think really deeply about 30 reasons. Number 1, stop having hissy fits when you go shop for clothes and stop crying. How many times have I gone shopping where I didn't fit in the clothes and then I got upset and depressed and went home and then wanted to binge, right? That used to be me all the time. So write down your reasons. 13 is not enough. Write 30 reasons why. 30 reasons why you want to do this. 30 reasons why you're fed up and you are not doing any excuses anymore. No more excuses, okay? Being overweight is hard. Fasting is hard. Pick the hardest one. Do what you gotta do. Exactly. You need to be fed up with it. You need to say enough is enough. Do you really want your 2021 resolution to be about weight loss again? It's in 6 months. How about you take action and stop being a freaking... Now I'm gonna say some words. Okay, just take action, take responsibility, and stop being the way that you are, because obviously it's not working. Take responsibility, write down your reasons, and stop being overweight and stop being obese. I'm not gonna say the words, okay? Let's just stop it. Just stop it. Stop. Stop. Okay? That was my rant. Just stop. I'm done. You guys need to stop. That was my tough love. I know I'm usually nice, but you guys need to stop and take your health into your action. You guys keep telling me to say it. No, I'm not saying it. I'm too nice, okay? But stop being obese, stop being overweight, do what you gotta do, and just do it. Just do it. Just do it, you know? Just stop. I'm gonna say stop 100 times. Write that shit down, take responsibility, no more bullshit. Delete those freaking apps, John, exactly. Delete Uber Eats. Okay, delete Uber Eats and remove your credit card for it, because you know that even if you delete the app and you get it back, then your credit card's still there. So that takes 2 seconds to get it back on your phone. I have not eaten there. I used to work at a company. I used to be like managing the sales team pretty much of a company like Uber Eats, but in Canada and kind of the UK, but I'm not gonna tell you like it was just from the UK. You could probably guess which one it was. It's one of those big ones. I used to use so many of the food coupons to order takeout every single day. I would delete it and then I would get it back again, and then my credit card was still there. So boom, I've done that as well. Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. Take responsibility for your actions. The food doesn't magically end up in your mouth. You take it in your hand and you put it in your mouth and you chew it. So stop doing that. Tell yourself that you are disciplined from now on. Write that shit on your wall. Decide that you are a disciplined person, and a disciplined person takes the steps that you need to be disciplined. Do you think it's fun to write down my macros every day? No, but in order to permit myself not to binge, I write it down for now until I get the hang of it. So during a refeed, I write it down because refeed is that time that you will be likely to binge. So write it down, stop making excuses, and just do it. Do it. Okay? I know it's annoying. I know it's annoying, but you need to do it now. Because if you do not do it, then you're not going to get used to it. You're not going to build up that discipline, and you're going to be overweight for the rest of your life and crying every time you need to go to an event and you try your skirt on and it gets smaller and smaller every time. So from now until January 2021, you have 6 months. Take it or leave it, but I want you guys to get fit if you're here. So please stop making excuses. Just take responsibility for your life and for your actions. Go delete all your silly apps. You don't need any of those apps. If you want to eat, how about you get outside, go for a walk all the way there, and put in the effort to go buy it and then walk home. Don't even take your car, because I know that if you guys go through the drive-thru, you will eat all the food in your car on the way home, because I've done that. Okay? If you want to go get some food, you better bet your ass that you got to walk to the grocery store, buy the food, prepare it yourself, put in the effort, and then eat it if you want to make it. Okay? Boom. That's my rant for tonight. Please take responsibility for your actions. I don't want you guys to cry yourselves to sleep anymore, okay? Goodbye. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. But just please take responsibility for your actions. I did a 30-day fast. I did not binge after my fast. I'm doing alternate day fasting now for a week. Then it's gonna be my birthday. Then I'm gonna do another 21-day fast. That is a plan. Make a plan and stick to it, okay? Okay, it's like midnight, so I'm going to bed. But watch this video. Take notes and take responsibility. No more bullshit, guys. I love you guys. Sorry for the tough love, but come on. Come on, guys. Okay. I'm out of breath. I've talking for 35 minutes nonstop and I didn't breathe. So, see you guys later. Mwah. Have a